boys and girls. You know, when I was in the 11th grade, I got chosen to go to this camp for a whole week away from my family. And at the time that I was chosen, there was one other girl that was supposed to go from my school. And so I was a little nervous, but at least I had Amanda. And then Amanda decided she wasn't going to go. And my mom made me go because I'd already said that I was going and somebody was paying for me to go to this camp. So I remember that all the way to that camp, I cried and I did not want to go. And I remember that my mom wrote me a letter while I was there and said, you know, it made me feel so bad to take you there when I knew you were upset, but it was the right thing to do because somebody had paid for you to go. And, you know, as a grown-up, I know she's right. But sometimes it's very hard to leave our families and our friends. As we start our plant unit, we are going to be reading both books that are science fact books, so nonfiction, informational texts. But we're also going to read some fiction stories. You can still learn from a story that is fiction. And the story that I'm going to read is called The Danedelion Seed. And The Danedelion Seed is a fictional story, but it has non-fiction information that is about the life cycle of the dandelion. I'm sure you've all seen dandelions, the bright yellow flowers and then the big fluff on top. Maybe you've even made a wish on a dandelion, where you make the wish and you go blow. So let's go ahead and get started. I want you to be thinking, though, about how this dandelion seed seems to be feeling in the story. The dandelion seed. It was autumn in the garden. All the flowers had died and dropped their seeds. Only one seed was left, a little dandelion seed who was afraid to let go. But the winter wind began to blow. The stronger the wind blew, the tighter the seed hung on until it felt the wind blowing right through it. Then the seed left the garden behind. It became part of the wind and was carried away. The world was bigger than the seed ever imagined. It was also more frightening, more lonely. And more beautiful. The more the seed saw, the smaller it felt. It wondered where it belonged. The seed landed when snow began to fall. It listened in silence as peace covered it like a blanket. You ever been outside on a quiet, snowy morning? It does sound like peace, doesn't it? Doesn't that seed almost look like a person, the way that the fluff is draped down? It's winter, everything's silent and covered in snow. Finally, spring came. Sunshine warmed the air and the soil, and the little seed began to grow tiny leaves and roots. Its leaves spread wide to gather sunlight. Its roots reached deep to drink fresh rain. Soon the seed flowered into the bright, delicate dandelion it was meant to be. It shared its green leaves with deer and rabbits. It gave sweet nectar to bees and butterflies. Then, almost overnight, the life that began as one little dandelion seed ripened into many. They each became part of the wind and were carried away. All except one. "Don't be afraid," whispered the dandelion. "The wind and the sun and the rain will take care of you. Let go and you will see." You will see. I love this story. It really just reminds me of growing up and becoming an adult. You know, when you're little, your mom, dad, grandma, all those people you live with, whose home you're in, they feel like the most wonderful place in the world. And sometimes it can make you feel a little afraid to do something. But then eventually you get up the courage and the bravery to do it, right? Like, you know, go off and go to camp or spend the night at a friend's house. I want you to think like the dandelion seed today. There is a little written response paper below this video, and it's the dandelion seed. It says, "Tell me about a time when you were afraid to do something, but eventually got up the courage to do it, and it was great." That little dandelion seed at the beginning was afraid to let go. And then when it did find that the world was scary and big, but it also found that it was beautiful and that wonderful things happened when it let go, right? So think about something that you were scared about or nervous about. But then when you did it, it was great. And write about that today. Part of being a really good learner is that not only can you read books and tell what happened in them, but when you read them, it makes you start to think about your own life and you connect to it. We're going to do some reader's response this week so that we can practice doing that. I hope you enjoy the stories that we read. I definitely have my favorites, and I'm glad that I get to share them with you. Have a great day. Bye.